From EcoVeganGal.com, and welcome back to the EVG Uncensored channel, where I share my thoughts, feelings, and opinions on life, not necessarily related to veganism. Today's video is about some things I was thinking about related to this massage that I had earlier. There's so much actually. I didn't really know what this video topic was going to be about, but this seems to be a great topic because I learned so much from this massage. Let me see, let's go back a little bit because there's a lot of little details. I love getting massages, don't you? I mean, they're amazing. I feel so good right now after that massage. And I think the last massage I had was around Christmas time. I actually asked for a massage for Christmas, so my mom gave me one. She gave me a certificate to go get one. And typically I try to get a massage every month or every 2 months, and I'll go to this inexpensive Thai massage place. There's a ton in Los Angeles, and it costs, I think, $35 for an hour, and then I give a tip, so it's usually $45 or $50, but they're not that good. So this year, one of my intentions was to start getting better massages. I want massages that just leave me feeling amazing with results. I want to work with massage therapists that really enjoy what they're doing. And this particular Thai massage place I go to, there's just kind of this weird feeling to it. Like, first of all, it's super inexpensive and they're not getting paid that much. Although I think it's a family business, so maybe they are. But it's just this weird thing because they're cutting all these corners to save money. So it's not like the nicest place. And, you know, there's curtains instead of walls, which is true of most Thai places. So it feels a little weird because, like, there's always noise. And I don't know. It's not the greatest experience, but it's good enough. And then I realized I think I'm just kind of over that. So what do you do when, like, you know, the cheap massage isn't that great, but you don't want to spend the money on a more expensive one? And I was just kind of thinking about this, and I was like, I just want something much better. And then it kind of manifested itself. I got contacted by a massage company who offered to sponsor a massage video and give me a free massage. And I was like, oh my God, this is awesome, right? Here I was trying to think of how I was going to save up to get like a really good massage, and one just got offered to me. So lesson number 1 is the power of manifestation. It's unbelievable what you can manifest when you want something badly enough and you're thinking about it and you're actively like working towards something. It'll just come into your life. And instances of this have happened time and time again. So that's like a little bonus of this video, a little reminder. So I set up this massage and have a fantastic experience. I'm going to do a whole video on the main Eco Vegan Gal channel, not only reviewing this massage company, but also talking about the health benefits of massages and actually why it's a little bit more ethical in terms of the workers when you work with a certain type of company. There's so much I can't wait to share about massages in general. So this type of massage was an in-home massage, which was so great. And it's actually quite affordable. Again, I'll share all those details in that other video. So this girl comes to my house and I get to kind of set up the environment here, which was so neat. And I had told her in advance that I was going to record a video for this because that was my assignment. And so like she shows up and we start talking about that. And then like one thing leads to another. We start having a lot of conversation. And I realized something interesting about myself was that I am so fascinated with other people's lives and like just what other people do and they think and their behavior. So I found myself like talking throughout most of the massage, at least like a third of it, maybe more of like a half of it. And I felt kind of bad talking it through. So there was this interesting dynamic that went on. The masseuse was around my age, or massage therapist, I think is the more PC term. Really nice girl, but like it was an interesting social experience because we had never met each other before. And here I am, like this YouTuber that's like, hey, you're coming over to my place and I'm going to record a video of this experience. And I asked her, how she felt about it, and she was okay with it, but I could tell that she was also like a little like weirded out. So one lesson there was, how do you make people feel comfortable when you meet a stranger and you're put into a situation together? I find that it's really helpful to just be real and just be comfortable. In hindsight, what I tend to do in those situations is I like overcompensate. This also reminds me of the first time I met Michelle from Thug Kitchen, and Matt as well. It's Matt, I think, right? Both their names start with M's. I don't think it's Mike. I think it's Matt. It's definitely Michelle. And I met the two of them at Moose Shoes, this party in Los Angeles. Moose Shoes is this shoe store, and they were having their opening party, and they were there, and I was like, oh my God, I've been wanting to meet the people from Thug Kitchen. And I went up to them and I was like, chat, and they were just kind of standing there like, who is this girl? That's kind of what I tend to do. Do you do that at all? Like, I'm not really trying to overcompensate. I just get so excited, and maybe there is like a little bit of nervous energy involved there. So I was thinking about it actually during the massage, like, am I talking way too much? Does it make people uncomfortable that I'm talking too much? And I think there's always this balance there of wanting to make somebody else comfortable, but also like being true to yourself. So some of the little lessons we can learn from those situations are, if you want to talk, and it's really up to them to like tell you that they don't want to talk, right? Like the massage therapist could have politely said to me, hey, you know, like, why don't you try to enjoy the massage a little bit more, right? So for me, I think it's important to not always be concerned about how other people perceive you. And I use the Thug Kitchen example because like I felt really self-conscious after I talked to them so much. But then Michelle and I started to become friends, and she never like brought it up again. And I actually don't think she was that uncomfortable. Maybe she just didn't feel like talking that much. So the little lesson there was, just because you're doing something that somebody else isn't doing doesn't mean that they're uncomfortable or they don't like it. Their response may simply to be just quiet and listen, and they just might not be as comfortable talking away. So it's kind of like this balance of really trying to read people's energies. So during the massage, I caught myself talking a lot, and I thought, all right, I'm just gonna like quiet down a little bit and like give her an opportunity to like chime in when she wants. So I found the balance by like only talking when I really felt like it was necessary or I really wanted to know something. You know, typically in massages, I'll just lie there and let the massage happen. But like for whatever reason, I was so interested in this woman and the experience, and I was also trying to gather information for my video. And so I'm just one of those people that like when I want to know details, I'll just ask a lot. And I guess there isn't much reason to be self-conscious about that. And maybe that's kind of the overall message of this video, is like, it reminds me of something I was thinking about recently, of how it's so important to just kind of be yourself. And when you're in social situations, you just have to realize that you might want to do things or want to behave a certain way. And just because other people aren't behaving that way doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you and your behavior. I do think it's really important to pay as much attention to other people's reactions as possible. And if they seem annoyed or uncomfortable, like see if you can adjust yourself a little bit to them. But it's also so important to just not be so overly critical of yourself or concerned. And if somebody doesn't like the way that you are, then why would you really want them in your life anyways? It's a little different when you're getting a massage and the masseuse is being paid to be there, but then they're also kind of being paid to be there for your personality, right? So perhaps like you don't have to change that much because they're getting paid for it. Does that make sense? I'm still thinking all this through. It's it's an interesting thing, but I'm just, this channel is about me sharing experiences and things off the top of my head. And I just kind of caught myself today thinking about how I put myself out there in the world and how I act in certain situations. And I think that I've censored myself a lot, or feel tempted to censor myself a lot, simply because I don't want to make other people uncomfortable. And this topic actually came up yesterday on my live Q&A on the main Eco Vegan Gal channel. This girl had asked, what to do in this situation. She was traveling outside the country and going to Lebanon, and she was concerned that people were going to be kind of weirded out that she was vegan, and she didn't know what to do because she didn't want to make other people uncomfortable. And my response to that was, well, how interesting it is that we get so concerned with other people being uncomfortable by our behavior or our preferences or our lifestyle choices. And I almost feel like for the majority of the part, we shouldn't be that concerned, right? Because if we're always censoring ourselves, if we're always adapting ourselves to other people, we're not really ourselves anymore. If we're just constantly being these chameleons that adapt in every social situation and stop ourselves from really expressing ourselves in the way that we really want, then there's like this hindered feeling. And I think majority of the people that I meet are like that. I can feel that. I can sense that feeling of like they're afraid to be themselves. And this has actually come up a lot for me career-wise, because I've noticed that some of the more successful people on, say, YouTube, they're successful because they're so open about themselves. And I think that this channel has the type of engagement and momentum to it because I'm just expressing my true feelings on things. And even here, sometimes I censor myself. Even here, I'll delete a video or delete a certain part of the video if I don't feel like it's going to be received well. And there's like a good and a bad feeling to that. It feels good to kind of craft things and get some sort of desired outcome, but it also doesn't feel good when you stop yourself from expressing something that you really want to express, or you stop yourself from doing something that you naturally just want to do. So for me, I could have talked the entire hour-long massage. Like, I had so many questions and curiosities about this woman and her life and her experiences. Like, I just wanted to sit down and interview her. So much to the point where I almost asked if I could sit down and talk with her after the massage, but that felt like it was kind of crossing the line. But I mean, it was just so interesting because I didn't even ask her. I guess in hindsight, I probably should have just asked, hey, is it okay if I ask you these questions? Is it okay if I talk? Do you mind if I talk, right? And then it becomes up to her to give me feedback and let me know what she wants and how she feels, right? So that would be a great suggestion for you, is instead of assuming people don't like something or assuming people are uncomfortable, just ask them and do trial and error, especially when you're going to see the same people over and over again. So one thing I've learned a lot in social situations is trying not to judge people by that one experience with them or that one interaction, because usually one interaction does not say that much. And even sometimes multiple interactions with people does not really encompass who they are. I've definitely noticed this in my business world, because there's so many variations that could happen. And it's the same thing with me. I hope that people don't judge me by one video. Some people do. I hope people don't judge me by one social interaction. Maybe they do. I don't know. Because it just depends on so many factors, right? It depends on my mood that day. And my mood depends on other things that have happened that day. It depends on my energy levels. It depends on the context of the video or my feelings at that exact moment, right? And there's just so much judgment around what we say and what we do. No wonder people feel like they need to censor themselves or they need to hold back. And so much happens in our youth around this. And it's such a shame, because don't you ever wonder what you would be like if you just fully expressed yourself and just had so much freedom to try things without worrying about what other people thought of you? Really think about that. What would that be like for you? For me, that's a huge part of this specific channel. I created this channel a few years ago just wanting to be myself and not having to wear makeup every time I did a video or edit every video or craft what I was going to say each time. I wanted to just be able to talk like I'm talking to a friend. And what was interesting is I made myself vulnerable So much so that people really feel like they get to know me a lot more. Whereas that actually doesn't happen very much on the main Eco Vegan Gal channel. I actually feel like I have to prove myself as a real person there all the time, because often on the main Eco Vegan Gal channel in my videos, I feel like I need to like become across as knowledgeable and with authority and professional and polished and all this and that. And it's just a whole different experience. And I like both sides of that. So I guess another lesson here is that you can be different ways in different situations and have that fluidity. But I feel like ultimately, most people are going to like you more if you're honest. Most people are going to like you more if you're real. And people are going to, and then that also determines who's good in your life and who's not. You know, it reminds me of like people that are dating. You know, a lot of people present like their best selves. They look their best on dates. They act their best on dates. And then you decide that you like someone, you start dating them long term, and then like within a few dates, they start to change. And suddenly they're not always looking so perfect. And suddenly they're not always going out, taking you out to amazing meals or always really happy or really nice. And then you start to see their real personality come out, and you almost feel like you're duped. Like, wow, why wasn't this person showing me their real self from the beginning? Why do we feel like we always have to craft ourselves to be a certain way and to make people happy? And, you know, this pertains to when you see someone on a regular basis and when you interact with strangers. Now, of course, there are reasons for it, right? Like with a masseuse or a massage therapist, you know, I personally want to give them a good experience. Like I want to smell good and be clean, and I want my place to be clean if they're coming over here, and you know, I want to be nice and courteous and, you know, give them the comfortable experience. I don't want to like traumatize them or exhaust them or make them uncomfortable. You know, like there's that balance of being yourself while also being considerate to people. My point is that not to be overly careful to the point where you're changing yourself so much. I think what's more useful is if you can add some things to yourself and your personality and your behavior that you think will make things more pleasant, instead of subtracting things from yourself in order to make somebody feel good. Because lastly, there's really no guarantee that you are going to make that person feel good. There's no guarantee that that person even cares. There's really, you know, who knows what that massage therapist thought while I was talking, or when she left, or what her experience was. I have no control over how she feels or what she thinks, right? I could have been super quiet, and that could have made her feel like it was boring. Like maybe I entertained her, right? You just don't know. And sometimes even when you ask people how they feel or what they think, they won't even tell you from an honest perspective. So I guess at the end of the day, you got to do what feels right in the moment. You got to follow your heart and your preference and your personality and what feels right to you, and just kind of be okay with that experimentation. Because you kind of have two choices. You have choice A, which is always adapt to other people and try to be perfect and try to make everyone happy, but maybe feel like you're not living your true self. Or you can live your true self, be who you are, express yourself fully, and just kind of, sometimes you will make people uncomfortable, and sometimes they'll express it, and sometimes it might be awkward. But at least you get to be who you really are, and you can trust that people can express themselves when they want something different, and they can choose not to be in their life if they don't like who you are. You know, ultimately, that's what I'm really coming to terms with in my life, is being okay with people not liking me, being okay with negative comments on YouTube or wherever else on social media, because if I can fully express myself and do what I want to do, be who I am, then I have to be okay with some people just not liking that, you know? And that's just kind of what happens when you live life. And, you know, you get rejected sometimes. You have people that don't like you. But I also found that the more of myself that I am, the more amazing people I attract into my life that are like-minded, and we can be ourselves together, we can be ourselves around each other, and we can kind of live the life that we want because we're similar people, you know, and you're a perfect example. The community on the Uncensored channel is amazing, and it's incredibly supportive and loving and understanding. And so many of us are on the same page, and we're sharing similar stories, and we're coming together as this supportive group here, and it's awesome. So I'm so glad that you're here, and I would love to hear from you today, anything that you want to share based on this video, but more specifically, do you ever feel like you're not expressing yourself fully? Or have you had an experience recently, or like a really memorable experience in the past, where you just let loose and was fully yourself? And how did that feel? Did you have a bad experience, or was it good? Was it good and was it bad? Did something traumatic happen where you stopped wanting to be yourself? And how could you kind of shift back into that comfort level to start expressing yourself and what you really want more? Thank you so much for watching today. I cannot wait to read your comments. And thank you for your patience with this channel, and just keep coming back. That really means a lot. I love having you here. I would love to see you at the other Eco Vegan Gal channel, so I've linked to them right down below. I've been doing daily vlogs at the What a Vegan Eats channel. I've been doing very regular content on the main Eco Vegan Gal channel, and I'm starting back up with my business channel, EVG Venture, as well. And I'd also like to start doing a little bit more content on my Eco Vegan Dog channel too. So lots of content for you. Plus, I'm on Snapchat very regularly now. You can just look up Eco Vegan Gal. And I'm on Twitter doing a lot of live streams through Periscope. I used Meerkat for a little while, and Periscope. They're very similar apps. They're live streaming apps that live stream through Twitter. And what's cool about Periscope is that it actually allows you to watch after the fact, whereas Meerkat, you have to watch live. Periscope, you can tune in and watch. Like yesterday, I've recorded a live stream of a really great vegan potluck I went to, and I also recorded a live stream of me making the dish for the potluck. So I'm just trying to get really creative. I would love your feedback. Just find Eco Vegan Gal on Twitter. It's linked down below, and look for any of the live #Periscope feeds to check those out. So I'm just producing content galore here, so enjoy it, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye. Thanks for watching. Love you.